How's it going? So, about a month ago, I released the perfect FOV guide for sim racing, and a lot of you guys have asked, well, what about the other sims like ACC? The hardware side of it with my guide remains exactly the same. So, really, it's just about different menus and different ways that we set up the software of your choice. iRacing is my go to, but today I'm going to dive into ACC and show you how to set it up there too. Now, if you're new to the channel, I'm going to link to my FOV guide so that you can go watch it for the hardware portion, and then you can come back here and we'll resume with ACC instead of iRacing. Perfect. So we've got our monitors set up. Now let's dive into ACC. Now, whether you're setting up the FOV in iRacing, ACC, or any of the other sims, I do recommend skipping Nvidia Surround. It is an option that you can use to tie all three monitors together, but I like going manual with it as it gives us a little more adjustability. So, first things first, let's go ahead and launch ACC. And then we're going to go into Options, Video, and then we got two settings here to change real quick. So, full screen we want to disable, and triple screen we're going to enable. One other thing I recommend for ACC with this method is to come to your taskbar, right-click, and go into taskbar settings, and then tick automatically hide the taskbar in desktop mode. This will keep the taskbars from showing at the bottom of our screens. Okay, so there's a tool we want to download real quick. It's called Simple Runtime Window Editor. It's free, and I'll link it down in the description. What this tool allows us to do is instead of ACC just spanning one monitor, we can get it to stretch and fit to all three. So go ahead and open that up, then select Running Application. This will bring up a menu, and we can select from the window that we're going to choose. So AC2 Win64 Shipping.exe is the one we want, and then we just press open. This gives us a few options to set the width, height, and position of the window so that it spans all three monitors properly. For the width, you'll essentially take the resolution width of a single monitor and multiply it by 3. So that's 7680 for my three monitors, but I've added a little bit in playing with it just to make sure that it fills every pixel of the screens for my setup. Same thing with height, it'll be 1440 plus I added a little bit for mine. Then on the left we have the position. So I've set it to basically negative the width of one monitor, which is 2560, and then again just added a little bit extra to make it fit properly. Finally, we just hit set, and then we can save the profile so you can use it again next time. But this will get it to span all three monitors, fit perfectly, and then we can dive into setting up the triple screens themselves. So let's go ahead and back out of the options, and then just load up a session. Doesn't matter the car or track, we just want to hop into the car. So we're in the car now, and next we're just going to go into View Settings. So we hit Escape, then View Settings, and then we can go to the right in this menu a little bit until we find triple and widescreen. Here, we're going to use the same measurements like we did for iRacing and ones that we just measured in the FOV guide itself. So the distance from screens, I've gone ahead and converted 23 inches to millimeters, and we get about 585. Screen width, again, this is the width of your total screen, including the bezels, 711 millimeters. The width of just one bezel by itself, 6 millimeters, and then the side screen angle, which is again that value that we calculated using triangulation. Once you have this all set, we're good to go. We can hit save and exit. Now, one final thing to cover here is by default, the pitch of the monitor will be at 0. So to adjust this and get our horizon set properly like we do on iRacing, we can hit escape again, go to view settings, and then adjust the pitch. So I'm looking for a pitch that looks more natural to where I am vertically with my screens. So although we don't have the line like we do with iRacing, we can get it to look similar. And essentially, the pitch at 0 is assuming that we're perfectly in line with the center of the screens, which I'm not. I'm a little bit lower. So we offset that by about 4%. Or 4 degrees, so that I can see the dash, but not really the wheel. This sets up a nice kind of cockpit view. Now, there are other options we can play with here. We have height, we have lateral, we have distance, so these are some of the cockpit settings if things are off-center or you want to sit closer or further away from the screen. It's essentially moving your seat position there. So feel free to play with this, find what works best for you. I like leaving it at 0, but adjusting the height a little bit as well. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter which sim you're using my FOV guide for. Sure, the menus might be a little different within each sim, but the hardware principles all still say the same so that you get that proper immersion in FOV. Now, if you enjoyed my guide for ACC, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe for more content. I've got some really cool videos coming up. And feel free to leave a comment if you've got any questions or are looking for more specific help with sim racing. I'll catch you guys on the flip side, and as always, happy racing.